Senate Republicans just defeated Dems, restore God-given constitutional right. The United States Constitution is a document that we're probably all familiar with. It's the one that recognizes that no country or human institution gives rights, God gives them, and it's up to the government to accept them. When they said that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, they just acknowledged that this government would be one that yields to God-given rights. They wanted to work with God, not against Him. A lot has changed since 1776, and not many of our politicians still have those beliefs. Our elected officials almost exclusively lean on their understanding and listen to whatever the majority wants. That failing on the part of our government remember their mission, to keep the people safe, is what led to the one thing that has killed more Americans than anything else, abortion. Since the 1970s, Americans have been systematically killing off the next generation, all for the sake of convenience. Government rationalized it, claiming that the unborn aren't alive at all. The battle for the lives of the unborn has been raging for decades, but the state of Iowa has just taken an enormous leap to saving lives. In honor of Women's Day, we tell you about all the women who won't be slaughtered on the altar of convenience. We can tell you that the Iowa Senate has decided that once a heartbeat can be detected, the baby can no longer be killed. The American Conservative Herald reports that this comes after a long hard debate about the interpretation of life, and how we define it. Quite simply, the debate over constitutional and God-given rights is never going to end. The most vocal folks on both sides of the argument have their feet completely dug into the ground, and that's not a recipe for a meaningful debate over the facts. However, there remains plenty of room for debate when it comes to what's legal and what's not. For conservatives, we firmly believe that the words stated in both our Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution mean exactly what they mean and that their words stand the test of time. If a new proposed law defies either one of these documents, then it's time to throw it out. And then you have liberals, who believe that these two precious documents are always open to new interpretation. So in their minds, anything goes, and any bill that would nationally destroy either the Declaration or Constitution is no big deal. To them, changing laws to go with the current times is necessary. Thankfully, one Midwest state was able to put a kibosh on Democrats who were trying to deny our most basic right by a vote of 30-20. Conservative Tribune has the details. The Iowa Senate voted Wednesday to pass a bill banning abortions if an unborn child's heartbeat is detected upon ultrasound, moving Iowa one step closer to becoming the first state to ban abortions. Iowa lawmakers voted 30-20 Wednesday for Senate Bill 3143, which outlaws abortion upon the presence of a fetal heartbeat. A heartbeat typically becomes detectable between 6 and 9 weeks gestation. The pending legislation entails any doctor being charged with a Class D felony, subject to 5 years in prison and a $750 to $7,500 fine, if they perform or attempt an abortion on a woman after an unborn child's heartbeat is detected. Needless to say, critics have blasted the bill and will do whatever they can to continue to fight their heinous fight. There were Senate members who voted against the bill, of course. This bill is dangerous. This bill is unconstitutional. This bill devalues Iowa women, Democratic Senate Minority Leader Janet Peterson said, according to the Courier. The bill is unpopular, unconstitutional, and unconscionable, Parenthood of the Heartland Public Affairs Director Aaron Davison-Rippey said. 7 in 10 Americans agree that abortion should remain safe and legal, Davison-Rippey added. However, public sentiment indicates that changes are needed, and the bill amounts to a huge step in the right direction. 76% of Americans, however, want significant abortion restrictions, including making abortion illegal after 3 months into pregnancy. 92% of Republicans, 61% of Democrats and 78% of independents want significant abortion restrictions. The career politicians in Washington like to pretend that they have a whole lot of jobs, but American was founded on the principle that the people needed to be free, and the government needed to be small. The truth of the matter is that they've only got a few things on their to-do list, and protecting the innocent is right there at the top. Whether they want to believe it or not, Iowa's policy change is a win for all. Taking away the option of murder is something that saves both the murderer and the would-be victim. One last thought on abortion from one of the greatest presidents in American history, the late great Ronald Reagan. I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born. Ronald Reagan.